Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Guys, just a quick video before I go knock out and go bed. Um, there's a lot that's happening in boxing. There's a lot of shenanigans, I should say, that are taking place in boxing right now. Canelo Alvarez has decided to sue his broadcaster and his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. They cannot deliver him a fight. They can't deliver him the money that he wants, or that actually not he wants, the contract that's been agreed. Both the broadcaster and De La Hoya have gone back on their word. The word, a contract is a contract. You have to obey your contract. Now, if they've got something in the contract where it says on special circumstances, because normally they have in contracts, if there's special circumstances, and these are special circumstances right now with the pandemic, and unfortunately everything's gone, haywire because of the pandemic. So, what's my take on it? What's my opinion? From one standpoint, I look at it that fighters, listen, they've got a short life as a sportsman. They need to earn as much money as they can, and you always have to sympathize with a fighter, because promoters are accused of, being bloodthirsty at times. They get accused, and there's not, promoters are seen as the villain. They're seen as evil. However, in this situation, I'm not sure what I feel. Even though I think Canelo's got a contract and he's probably in the right, if depending on what's in the contract, we don't know the devil's in the detail, as they say. But I think in this instance, I'm not sure whether I'm with Canelo here. I just think he's been very unreasonable. They gave him the richest deal in boxing, and he's making a lot of money. He needs to surely understand what's going on in the world, right? And if dazn are asking him to take a little less, right, I don't really see what the problem is, really, because it's not like Canelo's earning not that great money and he's like nah, like Crawford, for example. Crawford earns good money, 5 million a fight guaranteed or whatever, but he said I'm not taking any less. But Canelo's earning $35 million. Surely Canelo can take a little less, because right now DAZN's probably in the crap. So, and De La Hoya I think they're probably trying to convince him to take a little less. Like, we can't get you a fight on that guarantee purse. We just can't do it at the minute. The pandemic, there's no gate revenue, so we can't get you a fight and pay you 35 million guaranteed. And Canelo's not having it. Canelo say no, it's in my contract, so he's not willing to agree. Now, again, I'll say it again: the devil's in the detail. So when this goes to court, it could get messy, in the sense that if in the contract, the fact that Canelo's taken a stance and taking them to court, it tells me he's probably in the right? Because he knows that he can win this court case. And apparently he's suing them for 200 million. So he's suing them for 200 million. And then apparently, I think if he wins, he's free to go with another broadcaster and another promoter. If I'm from the information that I've got from online, that might be true. If not, can you please let me know in the comment section? But from what I've read, it seems to me if he wins this case in court, he's free to go with any broadcaster and any promoter he wants, so he'll get a release from his promoter, and that'll be a shame, because De La Hoya and Canelo have been together for a very long time. De La Hoya's in big trouble. He's in big trouble because Ryan Garcia's not on a great page with De La Hoya. Canelo's basically just seeing out his contract. He's going to leave De La Hoya. So the big fishes like Arum and Heyman, Hearn, they'll be licking their lips right now, because they'd love to secure the purchases of Canelo. I personally think I wouldn't be shocked if he goes to Arum, because Arum, I think he'll sign with Arum if he's going to sign, and that will put ESPN and Arum Top Rank at another level. Can you imagine if they have Tyson Fury, Canelo, Crawford, and Lomachenko? They've basically, in my opinion, got a monopoly, because then you would have two massive stars like Fury and Canelo. Canelo's the biggest star in the sport, so wow, I think Top Rank, and if to get hold of him, Top Rank's going to become, in my opinion, he's going to become the biggest promoter, Arum, in the world again, because you would have four of the best fighters in the world. You know, you could easily put them four in the top five. Actually, you'd probably say you would put them in the top 5 pound for pound list. All four of them. So that's what Aaron would get if he gets Canelo. So I think Canelo's got a great chance of winning this. Again, I don't know. The devil's in the details. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's sad that it's come to this. That they couldn't come to some kind of agreement, both parties. Canelo's probably being stubborn. Most fighters are, when they've signed a contract and they feel they're owed something, they're owed it. You know, Canelo feels he's owed it, so he's stood his ground. I don't know what I feel about that. I just think if he wanted a fight, he could have. Here's the problem with contracts. Once you break that contract, so if Canelo says, okay, I'll take less, then you've broke it. You've accepted to take less. Then they can in the future say, oh, we haven't got the funds. We'll just pay you this. So, and then you won't have a leg to stand on. So I can see where Canelo's coming from by doing this. You know, I understand Canelo from Canelo's point of view, but at the same time, I understand DAZN and Golden Boy's point of view as well, that we're currently going through a pandemic, and it'd be difficult for them to pay him that amount of money. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It's sad times, but you know, it is what it is, and it doesn't help having the best fighter in the world on the bench not gonna fight. We don't know how long this is gonna go on for. He may not fight for another year, and you know, these are prime years in Canelo's career as well, so Canelo wants to fight as well. So let's see what happens, and let's see how this gets resolved. So let's move on to the second part of this video. Guys, I think Ellie Setback was interviewing Bomac, and Bomac said that we'll knock Kell Brook out in 6 rounds or 8 rounds, something like that. Bomac seemed very confident, and he always is. He was the same when he fought Khan. They seem that, you know, they're very confident, and I don't think they think Brook's much of a threat. Although they take every fight very seriously, I think they in their minds think that they'll beat Brook quite comfortably, and I think a lot of people think that. And it's gonna be hard for Crawford, because eventually you may get to a point where Crawford might get in a position where he may be relaxed, and someone that is not on his level could potentially beat him. Brook could be one of those guys, you know, where Crawford underestimates, because Crawford's not really motivated to fight Brook. Yes, he'll say, I'm motivated, I'm always staying motivated. I don't think deep down he wants to fight Brook. He wants to fight the top guys, and he doesn't think Brook's a top guy, but it's a case where he knows he has to keep fighting if he wants to get paid. He doesn't want to fight Kell Brook, in my opinion. If you were to ask him, I don't think he really wants to. He wants the other top welterweights. He said, I'll fight Kell Brook if the other top welterweights fight can't be made. I'll be honest with you right now. I think Ugas is a more dangerous fight for Terence Crawford than Kell Brook. Ugas is a quality fighter. You know, a guy, and let's not forget, Kell Brook's not fought for 3 years at welterweight. You know, he's not. A lot of people think he's washed up. And I just think it's going to be difficult for him against Crawford. I think stylistically it's a horrible matchup as well. I think a lot of people wanted to see Thurman. They didn't want to see Brook. But, you know, it looks like we're going to get the Brook fight. And let's see what Brook can do. You know, let's see if he can do anything. A lot of people, you know, I just want to talk about, you know, a lot of people have messaged me saying that, you know, he's going to do better than Khan and stuff like that. I've always said that I think Brook's going to do better than Khan in this fight. I even said that, you know, I think they wouldn't be shocked if he pulls it off in the first couple of rounds, because he has got power. Although a lot of people think I'm crazy when I say that. But Here's the thing about the Khan doing better than Khan. Yeah, I think he'll probably do better than Khan, but I'm not gonna give him a medal. He's not gonna get a medal, right? Or he's not gonna get a bonus if he does better than Khan, right? Let's put part to that side. You only get credit if you win, right? You don't get credit if you lose and do better than Khan. You know what? There's no bragging rights here. It's about winning. If you lose, you lose. Whether you lose 2-0 or whether you lose 6-0, you've lost. You don't get any more. You don't get brownie points for being a valiant loser. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So I think a lot of people need to cut that out, because if he loses, it doesn't matter if he does better than Khan or not. He's lost. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really mean a lot. Oh, he's done better than Khan. So I think we need to stop that. The thing is, he needs to go out and win. Forget whether he does better than Khan or not. It's irrelevant, because it doesn't really hold any weight. I think he has got a chance, but I think it's a very slim one. And I think Crawford may pick him apart and take him apart. You know, if it goes past a certain amount, because I think once it goes past 6, Kell Brook's going to start running out of steam. And I think then Crawford's going to start picking him apart like a surgeon. I think Crawford's a surgeon in there. So Brook's going to tire, and then Crawford's going to get stronger. And I just think later on in the fight, it's going to get messy for Kell Brook. So Kell Brook's got to do the damage early on in the fight if he can. I know he's looking good. I know he's training hard. But guys, you've got to understand, he's probably at 160 right now, weight-wise, right? He's nowhere near 147. He's just not. When Kell Brook gets down to 147, he looks drawn, he looks gone. Very difficult for him to win. He looks ill almost. So my point is that when he gets down to that weight on weigh-in, I just don't know whether he's going to be... I don't know whether it's going to take so much out of him. He's not fought at welterweight for 3 years, man. That's like, come on, man. You know, you struggle to make a weight and you've not fought at that weight for 3 years. This is harder, a lot harder than a lot of people think. This guy's not a guy that walks around at 147 pounds. He doesn't walk anywhere near that weight. Kell Brook probably walks around at 170. Maybe even more than that. Maybe 190, because he's a guy that's not been very disciplined. Even right now, I guarantee you must be 160. He must be about 160, nowhere near 147. Yes, of course, 160 is fine when you come into camp. You'll drop that weight, obviously. But what I'm saying is he's nowhere near 147 right now. He must be about 160, I bet. So I just think it's going to be very, very difficult. And then you've got to make weight. That's going to kill you. Then once you rehydrate, are you going to have the same energy? And then you're fighting Terence Crawford. So it's just a nightmare matchup for Kell Brook, unfortunately. And I just don't see how he wins. But I see how he wins. And I see how he wins in the first 6 if he lands something. But is he going to be able to land that? Crawford's very slick. And a back foot sort of fighter. It's going to be hard. I don't know. It's going to be a hard fight. So, good luck to him anyway. I think, he's putting it on the line. Look at his resume. Is going to be Porter, Crawford, Golovkin, and Spence. Imagine fighting Golovkin, Porter, Crawford, and Spence. And he's probably going to have 3 losses there. And you just think back at it and think that he never fought no Danny Garcia, no Keith Thurman, no Ugas, he fought Porter, but no Khan on there. When you look at it, you would say all of the guys that he had a chance of beating, right, he didn't fight. These guys, even in his prime, would have been favored to beat him comfortably. But guys like Thurman, Khan, Garcia, Ugas, he had a chance of beating those guys. And he didn't manage to get those guys in the ring. So his resume at the end of his career may not be too kind. And what he may accomplish in boxing may not be too kind. Apart from that Porter fight, it is looking like Kell Brook. That's going to be Kell Brook's only win at world level. I know he beat Senchenko, and Senchenko was a former world champion. But Senchenko got beat by Malignaggi, right? And we all saw what Khan did to Malignaggi, and that was years before Malignaggi fought Senchenko. So yeah, I feel for Brook, but at the same time, when you're gonna at the end of his career, when you're gonna look down at it, it's not gonna look too kind. In terms of his career wins at the top level, because he hasn't got many at all. And it's unfortunate because he definitely could have beaten guys like, he could have easily beaten Khan or Garcia and Ugas and them. I'm not saying he would have beaten all those guys. I'm saying he was capable in his prime of beating those guys. Like I said, I even said that I would have favored Khan in his prime against Brook in his prime. I would have favored Khan, but I'm not deluded like some Brook fans and that say, oh, Brook would have not Khan, like saying it with so much certainty. I'm saying that it would have been a very good fight, a 50-50 fight. And when it's a 50-50 fight, both men can win. So Brook could have easily won. And same with Garcia. I think that was a 50-50 fight. Thurman, a 50-50 fight. Ugas would have been a very good fight. Ugas is a world-class fighter. And I think he beat Porter. I feel Ugas beat Porter. And there was other guys out there that Brook could have fought. But I think these four, he really should have got in the ring with them. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.